Welcome back. Let's get started. Om. गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्यवत् ॐ गणेशाय नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्या सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननम् वक्रतुंड महाकाय कोटिसूर्य समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणे विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम शन्नो मित्रश्यं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमां शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ओम शांति शांति शांतिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि नमोस्तु ते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Bhadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti मूर्ति भेद विभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधि मात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम्. So we will start from 12th verse. That's where we had ended. Actually, I would like to come back today for a little bit of recap since we are going to be at the midpoint. So let us chant with the 12th verse where we had left off last week. Dinayaminyau sayam pratah shishiravasanto punarayatah कालक्रीडति गच्छत्यायुः तदपि न मुञ्चत्याशावायुः. You know, last week we understood only when viveka comes, moha, the delusion, is gone, and only then desires will go. Dinayaminyau punarayataha. The day and the night, Dina and Yamini, the day decays into night, the night blossoms into a next day. Sayam prataha punarayataha. The dawn and the dusk. Dawn grows into the heat of the noon, mellows down to dusk. Shishira vasantau. Seasons come and go. Kalaha kridati, he says. Kala chakra, the wheel of time is revolving. Life is getting shorter and shorter. Gachati ayuhu. Life is at times mercy. It's ebbing away. But note this term, ashavayu. Na muhyati. As long as I continue to seek solutions outside for all my problems, spiritual progress will not happen. The desires will not go. In the next verse, we covered this one in detail. Kate kanta dhanagata chinta vatula kim tava Nasti niyanta Trijagati sajjana sangati reka bhavati bhavarnava tarane nauka. In this shloka, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji gave us another round of reinforcement on what? The Vedantic principle of Nitya Anitya Viveka. Hey Muda Shiromani, Vatula, Kate Kanta, Dhanagata Chinta. Hey foolish fellow, why don't you have faith in Bhagavan? Shift your Ashraya Buddhi, faith in the Lord. Have that unconditional surrender. Instead of other external dependencies, you surrender to Bhagavan. We saw the quote from Bhagavad Gita, the promise of the Lord. What was that? Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate yesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. The Lord was promising in this shloka 9-22, we dedicate our lives to Him. God will take care of all our needs, not greed, all our needs. He says He will take care of yoga, all that we need, that we do not have, and kshema, to protect what we already have. What a beautiful promise. And in this shloka, Bhava Arnava Tarane, the last quarter, Arnava, to cross the ocean of Bhava, ocean of becoming. We are always trying to become this, become that, etc. Instead, Sajjana Sangati Eka Nauka Bhavati. That boat to salvation. It can be our cruise ship, we said, to land safely with a comfortable journey across the ocean of samsara. This was the concluding verse of the Dwadasha Manjarika Stotram by Adi Shankaracharya ji, a bouquet of 12 flowers. And usually you conclude that with this verse. It is in the footnote of Gurudev's commentary, if you are following the book. Dwadasha Manjarikabhirasheshah Katito Vaiyakaranasya Ishah Upadesho Budvidya Nipunai Srimad Shankara Bhagavat Charanai. And we said last week, in the next 14 to 27th shloka is called Chaturdasha Manjarika Stotra, composed by all his disciples, Shishyas. It's not like they sat down, as I said last week, and composed it. That day, whoever accompanied him in that Kashi Yatra, that next one that we are going to chant is a scolding to the sannyasis. See, Shankaracharya ji has not left anybody in this. So this goes to the next shloka. Let's chant. Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha Kashayambara bahukruta veshaha Kashayambara bahukruta veshaha Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha Kashayambara bahukruta veshaha Pashyannapi cha na pashyati mudaha udara nimittam bahukruta veshaha udara nimittam bahukruta veshaha Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha Kashayambara bahukruta veshaha Pashyannapi chana pashyati mudaha udara nimittam bahukruta veshaha. Now in this shloka, it's a sweet scolding for the sannyasi. For what? Not to focus on appearances. This verse is attributed to Padmapadacharya, one of the senior disciples of Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji. His Guru Bhakti was so intense that one time he was on the other bank of the river, and when the Guru called, he didn't even think. He just started walking across the river, and whenever he kept his foot, a Padma, a lotus, came to support him. And hence the legend is that he was named as Padma Padacharya. He has written a commentary on Brahma Sutra Bhashya called Panchapadika. Coming back to the verse, so many varieties of sannyasis. Jatilaha. The one with matted locks. Mundi. The one with clean shaven head. Lunchita Keshaha. Another one with his hairs pulled as though. Kashayambara Bahukruta Vesha. One who is parading with different shades of orange clothes. Pashyannapi, even after seeing, na pashyati, does not see. Hey Mudaha, hey fool, this is Bahukruta Veshaha. Various makeups, roles, exterior appearances, all for what? Udara nimittam, for the sake of livelihood. Cheap stunts. So many shades of orange. Some Swamis, they insist on having a particular shade of orange also. See, the famous Kannada poet, saint, Purandaradasa says, Yellaru maduvudu hottegagi, genu battegagi. Meaning, everybody does all these professions for a piece of cloth and for belly's sake. All these stunts are to impress people for livelihood, he says. Udara nimittam. When he is talking about hair, we should also not forget the beard. Our Puja Gurudev jokingly used to say, the Swami is judged by the length of the beard and different shades of grey within the beard, he would say. So the varieties and vagaries of people, especially when you see the pictures of Kumbh Mela, the way they apply the chandanam, the amount of rudraksha on their body, all the tricks, one buries his head in the sand. And see, sannyasa is what? He is a renunciate. The one who has rejected the world and pursuing on the path of Brahman. By wearing orange clothes, he declares to the world, I am out. I have renounced. Before they take the Diksha, Sannyasa Diksha, they actually even do Shraddha Karma. That I am dead to this world. I have renounced. I am not in the rat race anymore. But what is he doing? Bhagavad Gita also says, this is Mityachara. Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma Mityacharasya uchyate. He is having a split personality. Outwardly, he is exhibiting as a sannyasi. He wants all these titles. But internally, he is focused on artha and kama. That renunciation, tyaga, needs to be internal. All the sadhanas are to reduce the identification with the body. The long hair or the beard is not an indicator of the spiritual progress. The advice here is not to focus or fall in love with the sadhana itself, but to focus on the sadhya, the goal. That is why he says this as udara nimittam bahukruta vesha. It is all a mockery. It is a show for a good livelihood. So the indictment here is for a pseudo-sannyasin who has adapted all these disguises, like what? Matted locks or braided hair, designer orange clothes, sporting a lengthy beard. All these are to deceive people. Unfortunately, these kind of imposters, they're nothing but con men who deceive innocent people. Pashyannapi, even after seeing, cha na pashyati, does not see. This is the unfortunate part. One might argue that this is like a character in a drama. He's acting like a sannyasin in a play. But in that case, the difference is the audience know that this guy is not a sannyasin in real life. The poison of a pseudo-sannyasin is that he makes the genuine one look bad. I say that this is the sin in sannyasin. I hope you got the pun there, play of words a little bit. He says the hollowness of it, he sees the hollowness of it, but does not want others to see it. Unfortunately, these dramatists have swarmed into many of our spiritual institutions and polluted the purity and sanctity of the institution and its pure message, divine message of the ancient scriptures. We don't know who to trust anymore. See, this age-old profession of a pseudo-sannyasi of minimum work, maximum comfort was true even during Shankaracharyaji's time. But this disguise of a sannyasin dates back even to Ramayana days, if you analyze. Ravana, our 10-headed monster, came in the form of a sannyasi, a sadhu, and he deceived who? Jagannatha, Sita, and kidnapped her to take her to Lanka. What about us? See, in the Hindu tradition, we prostrate to the feet of the sannyasi to honor the glory of the tradition, that he has given up everything in this world. He has rejected the world. He's pursuing the path of Brahma Vidya. And this fake sannyasi also knows. He knows that this is a noble way of life. Pashyati. Yet, he fails to live up to it. Cha na pashyati. Yet chooses to ignore it. All we can do as grihasthas is to honor the glory. Even Sita Mata, she crossed the Lakshmana Rekha to honor that dharma, to give bhiksha to a sannyasi. Honor the tradition. We should also honor the tradition. That is our dharma as grihasthas. Our red line is trust but verify. Like Ronald Reagan used to say, not to fall for blind belief, but an emotion of faith combined and aligned with an alert intellect, that we do not fall prey to a deceptive ways of a fake sannyasi. That's the essence of this shloka. With that, we will move to the next verse. Angam galitam phalitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam. Angam galitam phalitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam. Vruddho yati gruhitva dandam. Vruddho yati gruhitva dandam. Tadapina munchatyasha pindam. Tadapina munchatyasha pindam. Angam galitam palitam tundam. Palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam. Vruddho yati gruhitva dandam. Tadapina munchatyasha pindam. Tadapina munchatyasha pindam. Angam galitam. This body has become weak, worn out. Palitam mundam. The head or the hair has become grey. Dashana vihinam jatam tundam. Mouth has become toothless. Vruddho yati gruhitva dandam. This vruddha, this old man, is walking with a cane. Tadapi, even so, even then, asha pindam na munchati. He does not let it go. He does not give up. Here, in this verse, Totakacharya, what is he saying? The bundle of desires, asha pindam, that doesn't go away. The body is shrinking. You know, as you grow older, the body shrinks. The body is shrinking. Hair is turning gray and even falling for some people. Tooth is falling. See, until about 50, this body chugs along. No regular maintenance is needed. Like in the auto industry, they give 3 years, 36,000 mile warranty. Standard warranty, until Hyundai came along and raised the game to 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty. Why? To change the perception of quality. Similarly, this body warranty is also done. No renewal of this. We can get a new lease with a new life, with a new body. Once the youth is gone, it requires regular maintenance. The aches and pains, the muscle mass is gone. You know, as you get older, you start to shrink. The strength is fading. The teeth needs to be crowned. The knees and the hips have to be replaced, along with many other organs as they become available. So many muscles that have not been used for so many years. When do they remind you that they exist? Usually on a cold night. They tell you, hey, I am here. We need additional accessories to walk. In the shloka, he says a cane. Accessories to hear, to see. Totakacharya ji, in his musical way, says, Tadapi, even then, the Asha Pindam na muhyati. The bundle of desires won't go. See the irony. The dilapidation of the body and the desires in the mind, they seem as though they are inversely proportional. One may mature at the physical level, but the intellectual or the emotional maturity is not there. See, the body here has become unfit for sensual pleasures, but the mind keeps craving for it. It creates all this asha, false hope. This is where it's like a double-edged sword. The sense organs, as we get older, starts to fold up, starts packing. They've become blunt. They're not sharp like before. But the mind is creating all these false hopes and desires. The youthful enjoyment capabilities that once existed are all gone. That is why in Taittiriya Upanishad, in Brahmananda Valli, it describes one unit of Ananda. And it compares in the Brahmananda Valli. It goes like Bisha Smadvata Pavate, Bishodeti Suryaha, Bisha Smadagnischendrascha, Mrutyurdavati Panchamayiti, Saishanandasya Mimagam Sa Bhavati, Yuvat Syat Sadhu Yuvadhyayakaha, Ashishto Drudishto Balishtaha. You can understand that simple language itself. Tasyesha Prutivi Sarva Vittasya Purna Syat Sayeko Manusha Anandaha. This is one unit of Ananda. What? Ashishto, Drudishto, Balishtaha, that youthfulness, and goes on comparing. Sayeko, Manushya, Gandharva, Namanandaha, like that. How the Gandharva's Ananda is, how it is Devananda, etc., etc. Deva Gandharva, goes on comparing it. See, the essence is the mind wants enjoyment. That is why we call it Manoranjan. But the body cannot cooperate. That is where the double sting. The individual is made to suffer from both ends. He is roasted in his own desires. So the true retirement is the retirement of the desires, the false hopes that arise in our mind. That is the power of these sense organs. In Viveka Chudamani, there is what is known as a Kaimutika Nyaya. What to talk of? It says in the shloka number 76, Shabdadibhi panchabireva pancha panchatvama pusvagunena baddhaha kuranga matanga patanga meena Brunga nara panchabiranchita kim. See, the deer, he takes 5 examples. The deer, it loves melody, fascinated by the melodious sound, walks in the direction of the sound, becomes the target of the hunter, leads to its death. Elephant, with its touch especially during the mating season. Because of the sense of touch, it falls prey to it. And the moth flutters towards the light. Fish, because of its gluttony, falls prey to its hunger. And the honeybee gets attracted to the fragrance of the flower. All these 5 creatures, they have died being tied to one of the 5 senses. And what to talk of man, what is in store for him, that is what Kaimutika Nyaya, what to talk of. What to talk of man who has got all these 5 senses. I'll let you dwell on that a little bit. So this verse in Bhaja Govindam goes to depict beautifully, if we fulfill the desires, we are bound. It binds us. And we are bound by the unfulfilled desires also. It's like the tissue box, when you fulfill the desire, if you pull one up, the other one is right behind, it pops up. So it is important to sublimate it, not suppress the desires. Remember, that is why we show the camphor in the arati. Camphor, karpura. The camphor offered is nothing but a solidified fragrance. When it is burnt, there is no residue left behind. That is pure sublimation. The fragrance in Sanskrit is called vasanas, the negative tendencies within our minds, the egocentric desires, the likes and the dislikes, the raga and the dvesha. All of them must go. They must get burnt in the fire of knowledge. I think that is enough analysis for this verse. We will go to the next verse. I think we have time for one more today. Agre vahnihi prushte bhanuhu. Agre vahnihi prushte bhanuhu. Ratrau chubuka samarpita januhu. Ratrau chubuka samarpita januhu. Karatala bhiksha tarutala vasaha. Karatala bhikshastarutala vasaha. Tadapina munchatyasha pashaha. Tadapina munchatyasha pashaha. Agre, together. Agre vahnihi prushte bhanuhu. Ratrau chubuka samarpita januhu karatala bhikshastarutala vasaha tadapina munchatyasha pashaha. In the verse 14, couple of verses before, we saw how a pseudo-sannyasin behaves, points out. But in this verse, this ascetic, this sadhu, with minimal needs and comfort, he is doing his tapascharya, his penance, his sadhana. He has renounced everything. Agnevahnihi, fire in the front. It could be either for worship or for warmth. Prushte banuhu, the sun in the back. That's all the comfort he has got for heat. Ratrau, in the night. Chubuka samarpita januhu. How do we huddle when it is cold? He is bearing the cold night just by huddling his chin, chubuka, tucked between his knees. That is his sadhana. Eating karatala bhiksha. Karatala bhiksha means, 1 minute. Karatala bhiksha means the palm, the two palms folded together like this. Karatala karaprushtabhyam. When the food is available, he eats minimal food. No bhiksha patra also, no kamandalu. Meaning no possessions. Just karatala, whatever fits in the two palms. I've seen that actually when we went to Uttarkashi. Where does he live? Not a physical address. Tree number 55, under that tree. Not a 3-star or a 5-star, but an all-star. Open sky. Tadapi, even then, na munchati ashavayu. The cords of desire has not gone. If that has not gone, what is the use? No use with all this show. That is what is being said here. See, we saw what? Asha Vayuhu, Asha Pindam. Now here, Asha Pasha. Same thing. Even in our Puranic stories, we have heard Ravana was a great Shiva Bhakta, Shiva Upasaka, Chaturvedi. He had read all the 4 Vedas. He had 10 heads. Not one was in order. A Rakshasa is somebody very well learned, but crooked in his mind. Don't assume Rakshasa are, they have 2 horns or buck teeth like the Amar Chitra Kathas depict. No. He is a well-learned man. And how did he think? Someone else's wife is my wife. If Kubera had the Pushpaka Vimana, I have to have it, and he stole it from him. Like that. Even Hiranyakashipu, they all did what? Ghora tapas. Deep penance. And at the end, it all resulted in self-destruction. What Hasta Malakacharya is saying here is self-denial is alone not sufficient. We already saw that Bhagavan Krishna called this what? Mithyachara in Bhagavad Gita 3-6. Now here, we need to understand that these austerities will give great powers. But if it is used for bad end, it will result in self-destruction. Therefore, even when we receive a sannyasi, we say, na karmana na prajaya na dhane na tyage naike amrutatvamana. See, in order to cross the portal of sannyasa, one must mentally renounce 4 things. So the acronym is PORT, P-O-R-T. P is to renounce all possessions. Na dhanena. O, to renounce all obligations. No duties. Na karmana. Or all relationships. Na prajaya. T, he must renounce all transactions. No vyavahara. No transaction, no desires. Desirelessness. Tyage naike amrutatva manashu. Only by renunciation, total renunciation internally. Only Brahmachintanam. That is a true sannyasi who has crossed this port. Okay? Now, we are at about midpoint in the text. What I would like to do today is, let us quickly chant the first 10 verses. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrum Karane. What did we understand? Here, the primary goal for human birth, have the right priorities. And in this, we understood that it is a Prakarana Grantha with a total of 31 verses as Upadesha Vakya from Bhagavan Shankaracharya Ji to develop and how to go about in the inner journey. Avoid instant sense gratification by entertaining dosha drushti, by developing pratipaksha bhavana, develop vairagya, dispassion. Then second one, Mudhajahi danagama trushnam kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrushnam yallabase nija karmo patam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. He warned about Kirti Kanchana Kamini on the 3 W's, wine, wealth, and women, and how to flip that rejection to M and M's of Vedanta. Flip that W to M, the 3 natural distractions. Without that, Sadbuddhim Kuru. Nari stanabara nabhidesham Društva maga mohavesham etan mam savasadi vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tadvajjivitam atishaya chapalam viddhivyadhyabhimanagrastam lokam shokahatancha samastam. Then he compared our life to Nalini Dalagata Jalam, a water droplet on the lotus leaf. Ati Taralam, extremely unstable. told us the mortality of our existence, the temporary nature of the world. यावद्वित्तोपार्जन सक्तः तावन्निज परिवारो रक्तः पश्चाज्जीवति जर्जर देहे वार्तां कोऽपि न पृच्छति गेहे. Then he cautioned us about the temporary nature of the relationships. Yavat pavano nivasati dehe तावत् पृच्छति कुशलं गेहे गतवति वायौ देहापाये भार्या बिभ्यति तस्मिन् काये. As long as we have the power of the purse, people will care for you. As long as we are functional, our kith and kin care for us. Then he gave us the autobiography of all our lives, all our life phases, how we are distracted and do not spare any time to think of the ultimate reality. Balastavat krida saktah, tarunastavat taruni saktah, vruddhastavat chinta saktah, parame brahmani kopina lagna, kopina lagna. Kate Kanta. Then the advice started. Vedanta Chintanam. Kate Kanta Kaste Putraha Samsaro Yamativa Vichitraha Kasyatvam Kahakuta Ayataha Tatvam Chintaya Tadiha Brataha. Then he taught us how to think, how to turn within by introspection, by vichara, by inquiry, questioning who am I, who is my wife, who was she before I married her, who is my child, where did I come from? What that does is these self-introspecting questions slowly kindles the desire to seek the Supreme Self, go to the root cause of it, what lies beyond all this bondage, beyond all these relationships. Then he gave us the 4-point plan. Detachment from the lower needs to be substituted by attachment to the higher. We compared the ladder of fall to the ladder of success with a 4-point plan. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatva, nischalatatve jivan mukti. Vayasi gate kah kama vikarah शुष्के नीरे कह कासारः क्षीणे वित्ते कह परिवारः नाते तत्वे कह संसारः. नाते तत्वे कह संसारः. Once the knowledge has come, there is no more ignorance. He gave us 3 examples to prove that logic in this verse. And the cautionary advice was not to waste time in false sense of pride. Again, hitting on the temporary nature of this world. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam harati nimeshat kala sarvam mayamidam akilam hitva brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva. He said, give up your false pride on dhana, wealth, yavana, youth, and jana, relationship. Just focus on that ultimate reality, the nitya anitya viveka. Focus on that which is beyond time and causation. We covered these 2 shlokas today also. So please reflect on this and let us do one thing. Let us chant what we are going to do next week, and we'll see the meaning in detail. By the way, next week, because of Thanksgiving, we'll have a break. We will meet in 2 weeks. Please use this break to reflect on these things. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Atava Danam Jnana Vihinah Sarvamatena Bhajatina Muktim Janmashatena Bhajatina Muktim Janmashatena. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. May all be healthy. May all be happy. May all see auspiciousness. May none suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace.